Let me introduce you to this guy named 6ix9ine. You probably know him better as 6ix9ine, but we're gonna keep it simple and just call him Six. Now, Six was a 21-year-old rapper living in New York, and let me tell you, this dude was thirsty for attention. Like, he needed it. Every time you looked at him, he was doing whatever he could to stay in the spotlight. And boy, did he get it. But not in the way you'd expect. So, in 2017, Six was out here thinking, if I want to get noticed, I need to do something crazy. Something that screams street cred. And then, boom, he got this genius idea. He thought, what if I make a music video and throw a bunch of real gangsters in it? Yeah, that'll get people's attention. He wasn't just talking about any gang either. He was talking about the 9 Trey Gangsta Bloods. Yeah, you heard that right, actual gangsters. So Six hit up the 9 Trey Bloods. And guess what? They were down. And just like that, Six recorded his music video featuring the Betrayal deal. He uploaded it to YouTube, and bam, it was a sensation. The video blew up. Fast. Six was suddenly swimming in views, likes, and, you guessed it, money. Like, a ton of it. The dude was on top of the world. He thought, alright, this is it. This is how I get my street cred. This is how I'm gonna make it as a rapper. And, for real, it worked. The attention he craved was finally his, and he wasn't about to let it go. Sure, here's a more detailed version of that paragraph. So, after seeing how well his first video worked, Six was like, okay, let's go even bigger this time. He was already getting the views, the attention, and the money, but now he wanted more, way more. This time, he wasn't just gonna keep it small, he was going to turn the volume up. He dropped another track, but this one wasn't just another music video. Nah, this one was packed with even more gang members, more flashy flexing, and even louder bragging. He wasn't trying to just be noticed anymore, he was trying to dominate the game. And guess what? It worked. Again. The video blew up. The views went through the roof. People were obsessed with this new version of Six, this gangster rapper persona he created. He was getting tons of attention, and the cash was rolling in. Fans were eating it up, and Six couldn't get enough of the spotlight. It was like he was on fire, and no one was stopping him. Now, Six wasn't just any rapper. No, he wasn't out here with a simple image anymore. He was the gangster rapper, the one who talked the talk, walked the walk, and, most importantly, showed everyone just how real he was. He'd flex his jewelry with his diamond-encrusted teeth, which made him look like he had the entire city in his mouth. And then there was the money. $500,000, just chilling in stacks that he'd wave around in front of the camera. He'd post videos of himself throwing bills around like they were nothing. He was trying to make it clear that he wasn't just a rapper making hits, he was a gangster living the lifestyle, doing it big. And when he was in front of the camera, you best believe he'd make sure to remind everyone how gangster he was. He'd say stuff like, yeah, I'm gangster. I'm really out here. Test my gangster, bro. He was loud, proud, and completely obsessed with making sure no one doubted his street cred. Every post, every clip, every single shout-out was designed to make sure you knew just how real he was. He wasn't just here to make music, he was here to prove a point. To prove he was tough, powerful, and above all, a real gangster. But here's where things start to get a little messy. The thing is, Six wasn't actually a gangster. Not at all. He didn't have the years of street experience, the loyalty to the code, or the history with the streets that true gangsters had. He was just pretending. All the gold, the flexing, the talk, it was all just an image he'd carefully crafted for the cameras. And as we all know, pretending only gets you so far. Eventually, people catch on. You can't keep talking about being hard, being street, being gangster without actually living it. And that's where Six ran into a problem. If Six really wanted to keep up the act and maintain his credibility, he couldn't just keep making music videos and posting flashy pics. He needed to show the world that he wasn't just faking it. He needed to prove that he was really down with the gang life. He needed to be involved in the real stuff that came with it, the crime, the danger, the violence. If he wanted to keep that gangster persona alive, he couldn't just be talking. He had to be walking the walk. The 9 Trey Bloods. Six knew he needed to be involved with them for real. So, He started helping them with their illegal activities. We talking selling drugs, robbing people, getting into shootouts. It was all going down. 6ix wasn't just in it for the music anymore. He was deep in this lifestyle. Now, you'd think he'd lay low, right? Nah, not 6ix. He kept pushing, kept flexing, kept trying to show off that he was the real deal. But things were about to get way out of hand. In 2018, 6ix and his gang decided to rob a man and a woman leaving a building. They spotted them, jumped out of the car, and bam, they were in full robbery mode. But here's the twist. Instead of jumping into the action, 6ix stayed in the car and just filmed the whole thing. Like, is this guy for real? He's supposed to be gangster, but all he did was record it and upload it to social media. That's not gangster. That's stupid. But 6ix wasn't thinking straight. He uploaded the video to Instagram or whatever, and boom, it went viral. Guess who noticed? The cops. So, 6ix got busted. Fast. The charges were no joke: racketeering, armed robbery, conspiracy to murder. Dude was facing 47 years in prison. 47 years. Man, that's almost a lifetime. And just like that, 6ix went from flexing on Instagram to lying in a jail cell, realizing he'd probably never see the light of day again. But wait, 6ix wasn't about to let that happen. Oh no, he had a plan. After sitting in that cell for less than 24 hours, 6ix had an epiphany. I can get out of this. I'll just snitch. I'll snitch on everyone and get a lighter sentence. Genius, right? So that's exactly what he did. He flipped on the 9 Trey Bloods and cooperated with the feds. He went to court and straight up ratted out his gang members, sending a bunch of them to prison for over a decade. In exchange for that, 6ix got off with only 2 years. 2 years. That's it. He walked out of court like he'd just won the lottery. But here's the catch. 6ix had now become the biggest rat in the game. People couldn't stand him. They called him a snitch and a rat all over social media. And man, 6ix hated that. I mean, really hated it. So, in 2020, he's chilling at a strip club in Miami when some random guy yells at him, "Yo, rat." Now, you'd think 6ix would just ignore it. But nope. Instead, he grabs a bottle of champagne and throws it across the room, hoping to hit the guy who called him out. But what does he do? He misses and hits a dancer right in the head. OOF. She sues him for $10 million. Yeah, you read that right. $10 million. And of course, she wins. But 6ix problems didn't stop there. Remember the couple he robbed? They weren't done with him either. They sued him too. In 2022, 6ix was back in court, begging the judge to go easy on him. He said he was broke, that paying the couple back would ruin him. The judge wasn't buying it, though. But then, not even a week later, 6ix posted a video online flexing stacks of cash like he was bowling. Like, brew, didn't you just tell the judge you were broke? The internet went wild over it. Even TMZ called him out. So, 6ix had to admit it was all fake. The money, the flexing, it was all for the attention. Of course it was. Classic 6ix. But his problems just kept piling up. In a desperate attempt to make money, 6ix signed a deal with a platform called Rumble, a streaming platform where he'd play video games for an hour a week and make $2 million upfront. Yeah, you heard that right, $2 million for playing video games. But did he do the streams? Nah, he just took the money and spent it on more stupid stuff, like bacon bags, $300,000 worth of them. For real? Of course, he didn't fulfill his end of the deal, so now he owes Rumble money too. And what's worse, the IRS was looking at him the whole time. And guess what? He wasn't paying taxes. 4 years, 2020, 2021, 2022, and 2023. He made millions and just didn't pay a dime in taxes. Big mistake. The IRS wasn't having it. They swooped in, seized his cars, his jewelry, including his famous shark chain, and auctioned it all off to cover his massive tax debt. That's rough, bro. At the end of the day, 6ix's story is just a roller coaster of bad choices, flexing, and chasing clout. From trying to look tough with a gang to snitching on them to facing lawsuits and tax problems, he just can't seem to catch a break. But hey, he's still out here, trying to make it work. It's honestly kind of wild to watch.